It is Friday, July 24th, 2026. Welcome to another edition of Baseball Today presented by T-Mobile. Back in the hot seat again. Thirst trapping, homer hitting, 5 for 6 softball playing, smart guy Dalton Feely. Producer Dan, looking skinny, no tan, need to get it going. Summer's almost over, big guy. We're all back. What do we call this? Is like the ruckus gang right here. Like you put us three together, Lord knows what's gonna happen. Dalt, how you doing?
All I know is that this show is going to be all the vibes that you could hope for in baseball today. All we need is Rose in Alaska, just like FaceTiming us or zooming in, get that vibe in here too. I mean, my gosh.
Don't let Chris Rose bring this down. We got something special right here. He's calling flag football championships. He's not in Alaska anymore. So I don't even know where he is. I think he's in Chicago or something like that.
Okay.
Not really sure. But let's start the show, adults. And again, I appreciate you coming on, filling in the last couple of days. You are the man. Our tip of the cap is going to go to the inaugural AUSL play-in game that happened. It lived up to the billing. The Chicago Bandits walked it off 6-5 over the Portland Cascade in 11 innings. Elena Agbayani had an RBI single down the first baseline. It ended the longest game in the league history. She drove in Taryn Kern from third. And now, Dalt, the championship is set. It is the Bandits versus the Utah Talons, a best of three. It'll start at Davis Diamond. It'll be broadcast on ABC. It starts 1 p.m. Eastern on or tomorrow. Do you know who's on the Talons? Forgotten Rotten member Jalen Alchin, who has been raking all year. So I'm teed up. Go Talons, go Talons. You can be a Bandit fan with Jake if you want. There she is. There's my girl, Jalen. We're rooting for you, and we're rooting for all of the AUSL. Every time I turned it on and watched it this year, it was fantastic. It's a fantastic product. So I'm all about it. Go Talons, go. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, check it out on ABC. That brings us to our first topic. Chris Sale. He's something else, man. Braves took 3 of 4 from the Padres. Sorry, Ryan Cohen down in Atlanta this week. The Braves, 3 one-run victories. Chris Sale dominant. He went 6 innings pitched. Okay. 3 earned runs. Okay. He struck out 11. Wipeout slider. His 3 runs, not really great. Probably should have been preventable. Mauricio Dubon misread a fly ball. Let's check it out right here. It happens to everybody. Little misread right here. Oh, I don't think there was no sun really to lose it. I think he just thought it was hit better off the bat. Maybe there's a little sun. I'm not really sure. Shout out Mauricio Dubon, though. And as always, Jimmy Baseball out there. Sale recorded his 11th win of the season, dropped his ERA to 2.19. I feel like we're talking about a bunch of other people in the Cy Young conversation in the NL. We're talking about Christopher Sanchez. We're talking about Mizorowski. I even feel like Zach Wheeler gets mentioned before Chris Sale.
Right.
Is it crazy to say that he should be in this conversation with these guys?
I don't think it's crazy at all, Trev. Like Chris Sale is a freak. Like he just punches tickets left and right. And you mentioned like I had 5 guys I believe in the National League that I think are the top candidates. Right now it's Jacob Mizorowski's award. I think let's see how many innings he pitches. Let's see how the Brewers manage his load management. But he has been the most dominant pitcher in baseball. But outside of Mizorowski, you mentioned the 2 Phillies guys and Wheeler and Sanchez. Chris Sale, obviously. I would say Chase Burns is also in this conversation. I think he's having a fantastic year for the Reds. But going back to Chris Sale, he's age 37 and he's still getting double-digit punch-out games, Trev. He has 94 double-digit punch-out games. That's seventh most in baseball history. This is one of the premier strikeout guys. And a reminder, prior to 2024, when he goes to the Braves, there was a 4-year span where he really didn't pitch. He wins his first Cy Young. He's really rejuvenated himself in Atlanta, and he continues to do it. I feel like, I don't want to say it's Chris Sale fatigue, but like he's been so good over the last 3 years with Atlanta. I think we sometimes just forget how great he is. I saw a crazy stat, Trev, and this is one of the reasons like I personally really want to talk about Chris Sale after another strong outing. Via OptaStats, he has 2,581 Ks, a 2.99 career ERA as a starter. Obviously, he used time as a reliever, but only as a starter. The only other pitcher to have those numbers as a starter through 330 plus starts, Pedro Martinez. I mean, that's electric company. Chris Sale is definitely in the conversation. I don't think he's the current favorite right now, but like, it's just awesome to continue to watch greatness.
It's funny, right now teams are chasing the oddities. They're chasing the low arm angle, high spin guys because they get the rise, or they're chasing the guy that has the high arm angle because you get the extension and the angle is just weird. They're chasing different type pitchers. You still have to have this stuff, but it's deception. That's what pitching is. It's disrupting timing, being deceptive, all these different things. Chris Sale had that from the get-go. I've been in the box. I mean, he's a guy that I face almost more than anybody in my career. There's no pitcher like him. You can't say, okay, let me get my at-bats against so-and-so because that's what Chris Sale's going to approach me like, or that's who, I'll get the feel, arm angles there. Nobody's like Chris Sale to this day. Sham and I tried. He tried to figure it out, and for a while he had some success, but there's no one coming from that arm angle. He steps towards the first base dugout. It looks like he's throwing from first base. And the thing with Chris Sale is I don't think he gets a lot of credit for, or maybe he does. I don't know. If you watch him pitch a lot, he has the stuff. And when I was facing him, he really had the stuff. He was blowing cheese, but he's a pitcher. He can manipulate his speeds and his pitches where that slider can become 3 or 4 different sliders. He's got the hard one. He's got the backdoor one. He's got the get me over. He steals so many strikes with that fucking slider, man. He's just impressive. So yeah, I'm with you on Sale. Should be a Cy Young candidate. I do agree it's Mizorowski's to lose. You're right on Chase Burns. I also think Foster Griffin doesn't get enough love and kind of what's going on here and
We're
kind of
talking
what he's been
pitcher.
able to do. Fourth in WHIP in the National League for him at a 103.1. He's got the ERA as well. So it's there are a lot of guys there, but I think Mizorowski separated themselves. But yes, Sale and Sanchez and Burns, even Robleski needs to get a shout out. Maybe even Erod if we want to really talk about going down the line about guys who are having good years. But yeah, anytime I get a chance to talk about Chris Sale, I'm all about it, man.
Trev, did you see his last punch out of the game, the Braves broadcast? This was a fantastic moment. Dan, if you have the clip, can you roll it, please?
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you Freddie Fermin is the 11th strikeout victim of Chris Sale.
Now, the only question is,
what pitch?
Heater, eyeing away.
He just went fastball. I think it's
or is he sweeping the leg?
I think he's sweeping the leg here. I think he falls down too after he swings at it.
Pick your poison. 1-2. He swept the leg. He struck him out. That's perfect.
So that's the Braves broadcast. Final out of Chris Sale's outing. Gets Fermin. Predicted Brandon Gaudin, I believe Jeff Francoeur. Just a fantastic job. A great moment by the Braves broadcast there.
So good, so good. Shout out Chris Sale. Shout out the Braves. Shout out Peter Moylan.
Yeah.
Always got to mention him.
Absolutely. Love you, Moylan.
Gosh, Chris Sale. Still gives me nightmares and chills thinking about facing him. Just the things he could do with that baseball. It's just different. You know what else is different? Amazon is different. Today's episode is sponsored by Amazon. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. You want to give your kids a great start to the year, but back to school is a way of absolutely destroying your budget. The supply list keeps growing, the clothes stop fitting, and somehow there's always one more thing. Amazon helps you handle all of it without losing your mind or your wallet. I am going through this right now. It is back to school season. I got 2 kids changing schools. So I had, to get a bunch of different things, whether it's part of their uniform, whether that's, new headphones, all sorts of stationery that you need. Actually, they don't really need that anymore. They need laptops, people. It's 2026. Amazon has everything. It's a one-stop shop. Save your time. Hey, saving money is great. Everyone loves that. Can't buy time back. You just can't. So it saves you time. You got to love it. That's Amazon for back to school. Everything you need all in one place. Backpacks, lunchboxes, notebooks, headphones, clothes, great prices, huge selection, and it shows up at your door before you know it. It's always at my doorstep. My goodness. So remember, with Amazon's low back to school prices, just spend less on your kids because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. All right, let's move on to topic 2. The Tigers, they continue to win, man. They're making their deadline decision more and more interesting. The Tigers, they started the 4-game set yesterday versus the Kansas City Royals, who were on the struggle bus. Detroit continues to win as they took game 1 in comeback fashion. Dylan Dingler with the go-ahead RBI single. Here, the Tigers, they improved to 11 games over 500 since June 1st. At 27-16, they're just 4 games back of the final AL wildcard spot. Before Thursday's game, here's what Skubal had to say about the Tigers team amidst his trade speculation.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a chance to win a World Series. I've said that since spring training. That's never changed. That belief in this team has never changed, throughout the season. Obviously, we've put ourselves in a tough situation, but I think we've come out of that tough situation playing really good baseball. And yeah, I had going into spring training, the whole offseason, I'd never been more motivated trying to win a World Series, for this city, the team that drafted me in 2018 and helped develop me. And that's always been the goal, and that'll never change unless I'm told I'm on a different team.
I feel like we've been talking about this a lot, but here's the thing. I mean, it's a big story in baseball, and tracking what the Tigers do leading up into the deadline is, it might be one of the main focuses of our sport right now. So, I talked to Norp about this earlier in the week. Is it too late? Like, this run the Tigers have been on, is it too late for them to keep Skubal? Like, where is your head at on? Because if you talk to anybody around baseball, whether it's insiders or whether it's Tigers fans, I feel like everyone still is kind of split. Tigers fans obviously leading more towards keeping Skubal. But there is still talk about, okay, like maybe they are going to shop him. Where are you at with it?
It's such an interesting dilemma, Trev, because it's arguably the best pitcher in baseball, a guy who's won back-to-back Cy Youngs entering this season, potentially being on the move. Like, that would be one of the biggest trade deadline trades in baseball history, I would say. And I don't think that's much hyperbole there. So I think this is a massive topic in baseball. I think we keep talking about it because it would be such an impact to whichever team potentially acquires Tarik Skubal if he does get moved during this deadline. I think this is such an interesting topic, though, because remember when Shohei Ohtani was on the Angels? That was a massive debate. They probably weren't going to make the playoffs, but they were kind of still in the hunt. Do you move off of him? Do you try and get rebuild for the future, or do you try to go one last hurrah with Mike Trout and Shohei? They obviously kept Ohtani. They didn't make the playoffs, and it seems like it had, I don't want to say set the Angels back per se, but there are rumors now, revisionist history about the offers that are on the table from the Rays, from the Padres, etc. The Tigers are so hot right now, Trav. You said it. 11 games over 500 since June 1st. They're so good, and they're still kind of right there. I really think this might come down to the wire for where they are in the standings before they actually make their final decision on whether to move Skubal or not.
Look, you can easily liken it to the Angels and the Shohei Ohtani situation. I see the comparisons there, and I was on team keep Shohei. I felt like the Angels fans have been through a lot, and to have Mike Trout and Shohei, never play in the postseason, and now all of a sudden they kind of got hot. They were in the wild card chase. I felt like at the time you got to give it to your fans, give them something, keep this team around. I don't care about the Junior Caminero packages. Is Junior Caminero going to change that team right now? I truly don't think so. Now, has it changed like Angels fandom to keep Ohtani for that 1 year? No, it hasn't, because they still hate their owner and they would like to move on and all that stuff. So tomato, I guess. The difference between the Angels and where the Tigers are at now is the Angels didn't have a playoff track record like the Detroit Tigers do, or at least making it to the playoffs, I should say. It's not a great track record of the Tigers, but like they've been a playoff team. The Angels weren't. So this is a team that has been there, and maybe you spin that the other way and say, yeah, they've been there, and what have they done? And that's been with Skubal and all these things. So I'm always going to say keep your player, that the fans deserve that, and you should give yourself as best of chance to win in the current year as you can. I get that you gotta stack guys up to keep the window open per se, but I think at this point and the run they've been on so far, unless they go on some sort of like 7-game loser, I think they're keeping him. I just don't think it's going to happen. At the beginning of the season, when they got to such a bad start, it seemed like yep, this is it. Skubal's going to get traded, but they've played their way back into it. The AL has been mid. They have a chance. I think they end up keeping him, Dalton.
I think it's ironic too, because earlier in the year, whether it was Baseball Today or Talking Baseball, via John Boy Media, us talking about the Tarik Skubal and Detroit Tigers situation, this is kind of the area where it's like the toughest decision to make, because if you're winning, you obviously keep them. If you're really bad, you're obviously going to trade them. They're right now in that gray area. It's like they're hovering. Okay, we might make the playoffs, we might not make the playoffs. But I think the one thing that's ironic, Trev, between the Tiger situation, them and the Padres are in the exact same situation, just in the AL and NL, but they're two ships in the night. Tigers are trending up, Padres are trending down. They're both 4 games out of the last wild card spot in their respective league. They're both 11th in their respective leagues currently right now. So they're literally in the exact same spot. The only difference is right now, Jimmy Norp's Detroit Tigers are performing. The San Diego Padres and Ryan Cohen's love is not.
I also think the Padres' angle on a Mason Miller trade would be we can recruit prospects and we can get out of a big contract that we don't want.
Sure.
So there's that aspect to it too.
I will say my last point with this, Trev, is I think if the Tigers were to make a move, because again, they've had the best pitching staff since June 1st, best ERA in baseball in that span. The only way they make this move, I think, is if they get some controllable pitcher. And the one hypothetical, because I like speaking hypotheticals sometimes, like especially trades, right? I'm a nerd like that. Will Salmon and Ken Rosenthal put out that Emerson Hancock is a name that's going to be mentioned in trades. Obviously, the Mariners don't need starting pitching, but Skubal is a game changer. And if you put him at the top of that rotation, I mean, my gosh, obviously Detroit probably needs more. He's controllable. I think he's not a free agent until 2030. I'm just tinfoil hat. Fun idea.
So, yeah, I love that that'd be like a homecoming of sorts for him.
Right.
And okay, we already had this like Casey Schmidt to the Mariners for a starting pitcher. So
yeah,
they got like massive prospects. The Mariners do that are about to come up, both pitching, one left, one right. So you have that coming for you. You can get rid of somebody for Skubal. So this year you keep your 5-man rotation intact. You get rid of the 6-man, give it up another one for Casey Schmidt. All of a sudden, you're the favorite by far in the AL West. And with Skubal and your pitching staff, could go very far. I have them winning the World Series this year, dog. Let's go.
I know. Mariners, Phillies. At least the Phillies bounce back, because my gosh, early in the year, that was not a fun prediction. But I'm with you.
You know what? The last time I predicted the World Series to a T, everyone was saying the Braves were cooked, and they said you could change your pick, and I didn't. Oh, man, I'm good. You know what else is good, dog? T-Mobile. This episode is sponsored by T-Mobile. Whether you're on the go or at the ballpark, T-Mobile is built to keep you connected wherever the game takes you. With America's best network, you know your phone is going to work even in a crowded stadium. We just went through this at the All-Star game. Anybody who's been to a big game knows the feeling. Your team hits a walk-off, everybody's trying to text, post, or send videos at the same time, and then suddenly you got nothing. Your phone won't load or anything. And when you're trying to stream the game while traveling, the feed keeps buffering at the worst possible moment. You don't want that. Maybe you're hosting a party, and you're trying to cast your game to the TV. All of a sudden, your phone's buffers, and everyone's mad at you. You don't want that, adult. You don't want that. Those are the moments that matter to a real baseball fan, and a drop signal shouldn't be the reason you miss any of them. T-Mobile's network is built specifically to handle all of it. Packed stadiums, big moments, no problem. Find out how baseball hits different with T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com/MLB. T-Mobile, fastest based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data of national speed source results for the second half of 2025. That's the best based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data, second half of 2025. Speaking of balling out, this guy's balling out. I just had a massive discussion about him with Jake, and I feel like we should be talking about him every single day. Yordan Alvarez is a stud. Wednesday, he hit his major league leading 34th homer in dramatic fashion. A go-ahead 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning on their way of a sweep of the Miami Marlins. This weekend starts an important series for them, Dalt, for many reasons, between the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox, who are kind of like my team right now. I'm a Twins fan, but I love the White Sox. Let's start with Yordan. He's currently leading in practically every offensive category in baseball this season. That's not just the American League. That's all of baseball. We're past the 100-game mark of the season. He's triple crowning it in the AL right now. Do you got him finishing it off? Is he the AL Triple Crown winner? Can he match Miguel Cabrera?
I do, Trev. First off, I just want to say Yordan Alvarez, I think he's my favorite hitter in baseball. Like, just watching him play, there's real no weakness in his game. Left on left, sure, got that covered. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, yeah, sure, got that covered. Fastballs, breaking balls, off speed, got that covered. Clutch, got that covered. We just saw that versus Miami on Wednesday, right? So he is right now the most pure hitter in baseball. In that swing, I told you yesterday, a lefty swing, a good lefty swing, I'm in. So, yeah, Yordan Alvarez, obviously the results are showing, currently winning in every AL category. There's only been 12 guys since the live ball era to win a Triple Crown, Trev, in Major League Baseball history. This would be an exclusive list, and I think one race to kind of watch, it's not just, you alluded to it, not just the American League, though. MLB, like he could very well lead in home runs, RBIs, and average there too, Trev. There's only been, I did it. There's only been 4 guys in baseball history to do it. The last was Mickey Mantle in 1956 to lead in average, home runs, and RBIs across Major League Baseball. Yordan Alvarez has a real chance to make baseball history this year. I'm super excited to watch. I think he can do it in the American League. It's going to be tight because right now, home runs, he's winning by 1. RBIs, he's currently tied with Jordan Walker. Average, he's down 0.004 to Otto Lopez. So he is right there, and we're so late in the season. I really hope this becomes a true storyline for the rest of the season.
I mean, if there's one thing I know, it's Yordan's going to continue on his pace. It's whether or not one of these other guys goes off. If it's Kyle Schwarber, end up hitting 55 homers on the year. Like, I think Yordan's career high is 37. He's at 34 now. He's going to hit 40 this year. Can he get it to 45? Can he get it to 50? Because I think he's going to need something like that to win. As far as all of Major League Baseball's Triple Crown, he's going to win the AL Triple Crown. He's too good. Barring injury, knocking on wood, people, Houston fans, you hear that. He's going to do it. He's so good. I just did a lengthy award for him on Talking Baseball, and he's split proof. There's nothing that he doesn't do well. I went through his career split log and I said, anything like with any substance at all, can I find something under a 900 OPS? And you just can't. I found 2.
Ooh.
I found 2. The month of May, 874.
Wow.
OPS. Tough.
And
then against the Baltimore Orioles, he's got like 116 at bats or something like that. And it's another like 885. Everything else is 9 or above on the OPS. He's just that damn good. And I don't know if you played the Sandy homer against Sandy that in that series against the Marlins, man. He took a low and away fastball, and that's the type of hitter he is.
Yeah,
that's the type of hitter, man.
Yeah, he just has the power. He's one of those rare guys that he has the power to go opposite field and hit it towards the train tracks. It's really amazing to watch.
Quick follow-up question. White Sox currently, this is going to be a great series, currently in a playoff spot. The Astros are on the outside looking in. Any predictions for this series on the south side?
Ooh, I'm excited to watch the White Sox pitching versus Yordan for sure. And Jeremy Pena starting to heat up too. I think, the Astros are so much better when Jeremy Pena is in the lineup healthy playing baseball. One of the best young shortstops in the game. Prediction-wise, I don't know if anyone sweeps because, but both these teams have something to play for. White Sox up 1.5 in the Central. Astros only 2 back in the West. I will say my prediction for this series is that we will see a multi-homer game from Miguel Vargas. That's it.
Okay, my prediction is this. Yordan, take first, buddy. He's going to be walked. You better start walking this guy. Why not? Why wouldn't you? I know Houston fans don't want to hear that. They want their guy hitting. But that is the smart play. Throw the 4s up. Take your chances with the guy behind him. That's it. That's my prediction on it. Speaking of big series, there's a couple of them going on this weekend. We got Phillies-Yankees is a big series. A couple other ones, Mariners at Rangers, Cubs at Pirates in those series. The Battle of the AL West. Mariners travel to Texas. It's a 4-game wraparound set, so they play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, which is always weird. Seattle's 1 game under 500. Texas is 500. Again, they lead the division by 1 game. And then if you go over on the NL side, Cubs travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates. 3-game set this weekend. Cubs have a 3.5 game lead over the Pirates in the standings. I believe Cubs are in the playoffs right now. Pirates are not. If you can only watch one of these series this weekend, and we can open it up to other ones if you'd like, which one are you choosing and why?
So you're telling me I could pick D-backs Nationals? No,
Except for D-backs Nationals.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Which, by the way, those games might end up 15-18 and, like a couple 8 burgers in a certain inning, because that's what those two offenses can do.
Oh, James Wood's hitting a 3 home run game. That's definitely going to happen at some point. But no, in all seriousness, the series that I'm really looking forward to, Trev, is the Cubs Pirates, some Midwest baseball. Even though it's in Pittsburgh, I guess that's not technically Midwest, but that's neither here nor there.
It feels Midwesty. Some blue collar workers out there.
West Pennsylvania, it's kind of close enough. NL Central, technically. But listen, Trev, like, this is a time for the Pittsburgh Pirates to kind of prove themselves in 2026, right? Last few seasons, we've been saying, hey, Pittsburgh, go out, get some bats, help your team, right? Like, I remember when I was in middle school, high school, when the Pirates were in the playoffs, PNC was popping. Like, it was electric. And we haven't seen them there in a while. They are in the hunt still. Like, they're right there. They're only 3.5 games behind the Cubs. If they swept this series in Pittsburgh, it changes not only the complexion of the Pittsburgh Pirates season, but it changes the whole NL wildcard race too. Like, no disrespect to NL Central, right now the Milwaukee has a pretty handed lead in that division. But I'm super excited to watch this Pirates team. They haven't taken a season series versus the Cubs since 2014, Trev. The Cubs have owned the Pittsburgh Pirates over the last decade. Right now, the Pirates have won 4 of the 7 games, currently leading the season series in 2026. They could cement it with a sweep this year, Trev. Right here, they win these next 3 games. They take the season series. They take a sweep, put themselves in a better spot. I really want to see some good baseball out of the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Cubs this week.
I'm going the other series. I'm going Rangers, Mariners. And I don't really have – I mean, I have a good reason, but it's going to be short and concise, man. It's the pitching matchups. On Friday, it's Mackenzie Gore versus Bryce Miller. Love that matchup. On Saturday, it's Nathan Eovaldi versus Brian Wu. Love that matchup. And on Sunday, might be the best matchup of them all. It's Jacob deGrom versus Logan Gilbert. I want to see Jacob deGrom versus Cal Raleigh. I want to see it. I told you, I think Cal Raleigh's the takes that he's shown over the last in the last series against the Reds, I think he's getting there. He's getting there. And then now he's got to face this buzzsaw of a pitching staff. Going to be interesting, but that's the main reason. It's so close. Somebody's got to come atop that division, and obviously this is a huge, this is a huge series for both of these teams. Like, you sweep one way or the other, you're flip-flopping the lead or you're extending the lead, and in this AL West right now, things are so tight that we're going to look back at this series right now at the end of the end of the year. Okay, it can decide. What's the word I'm looking for? Tiebreakers.
Yes.
So I love the pitching matchup. Can't wait to watch this series, man. This is 2 teams kind of like trying to get their footing, trying to go. We just mentioned a possible Tarik Skubal trade to the Mariners later on this year. Maybe a little fan fiction. It's all right.
Fan fiction.
But yeah, that's why I'm excited. I want to see the pitching matchups.
I get it. And I think it's funny, Trev, you mentioned Cal Raleigh versus Jacob deGrom. I could be wrong. I believe Cal actually took him deep earlier this year. Maybe it was last year, but that's going to be if Cal Raleigh's back to 2025 form, it changes the whole complexion of the Mariners.
Let me get this up real quick because I want to see against so far. So I have the Rangers up versus Seattle. They're 4-2. So teams play each other, 13 times now interdivision. So they could put away the season series with a sweep.
Yeah.
Take that tiebreaker. Surely going 2-3 and winning the series puts them in a really, really good spot to do it. So a big one for the Rangers here. Before we get to our last topic, go check out Trev from the Past. This episode is brought to you by Fanatics Markets, where fans trade on sports. It's simple. You just pick a game and choose an outcome, like which team will win, which player will hit a home run, and more. It's time to get involved in the action. Then buy contracts based on what you think will happen. Yes, if you think it will. No, if you don't. Buy as many as you want. Sell if the price moves in your favor, or you let them settle when the event ends. And Fanatics Markets just got even more rewarding with Fan Cash. Now you can earn up to 10% Fan Cash on your trades, win or lose. Use it across the Fanatics ecosystem for things like trade credit, authentic apparel, collectibles, tickets, and more. Fan Cash is Fanatics' currency of sport, connecting trading, merchandise, collectibles, and experiences all in one place. Trade, earn Fan Cash, and unlock more with Fanatics Markets. Event contracts carry risks of total loss and changing prices, not good for all investors. Now available in all states. Must be 21 plus. See important disclosures in Fanatics Markets app. Customers are introduced to Crypto.com by Paragon Global Markets, LLC. DBA Fanatics Markets IB, an introducing broker registered with the CFTC and a member of the NFA. All right, Big Dalt. Last topic here, and I love it. This is more just kind of a shout out, kind of a little stroll down memory lane, reminiscing type of topic here. It's Hall of Fame weekend. We love it. We got 3 guys going into the Hall, all, clearly household names here. And I'm curious, your 1999 brain, where does it go? We got Carlos Beltran going in. He got 84.2% of the vote. We got Andrew Jones, 78.4% of the vote. It's his 9th year on the ballot. He started with just 7.3% in 2018. And then Jeff Kent gets in. He got elected by the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee with 14 of 16 votes after never reaching 50% in 10 years on the writer's ballot. Now, I mean, Carlos Beltran, 9-time All-Star over a 20-year career. He's one of only 5 players in AL NL history with 4 homers or 400-plus homers and 300-plus stolen bases. The other guys to do it, Willie Mays, Andre Dawson, The Hawk, Barry Bonds, and Alex Rodriguez. I mean, the accolades go on and on for these guys. I guess my question to you is, do you have memories of all these guys? Is it just Carlos Beltran? You've surely seen Andrew Jones highlights. Like, what kind of, when you hear these 3 guys' names, what comes to your mind?
I'll start with Andrew Jones. Actually, I was an outfielder in baseball, and I feel like Andrew Jones and Torrey Hunter, your guy, are 2 of the guys when I was younger I really kind of looked up to, especially defensively. And I'll be honest, Trev, you can look at me. There is no power. There's not much power in my game back in my heyday. It was a lot of speed and defense, and Andrew Jones and Torrey Hunter, just lumping Torrey in because it's another one of the guys I really looked up to at the time, 2 of the best defensive center fielders in baseball. So when I think of Andrew Jones, I think of just gold gloves. And I believe he won 10 consecutive in his career. That is an unbelievable feat to do it in a position as valuable as center field. So Andrew Jones, congratulations. Jeff Kent, I'll make it nice and sweet. I believe he's an MVP, but we do the drafts on this channel, JM Baseball, me, Jolly, Ryan, Lucas, go check it out if you haven't. Jeff Kent, very popular pick because his 2000 season, 2002 season, both very good. So I didn't really see much of Jeff Kent until late in his career. And then obviously Carlos Beltran, I saw a lot of. Fantastic player throughout his entire career. Just congratulations to all 3, especially Andrew Jones, just a little sentimental in my heart.
Growing up in LA, I was like kind of a Dodger fan. I just liked baseball in general, but Jeff Kent was always painted as like the villain, essentially. Played for the Giants. But he was like the first power hitting second baseman. He just didn't really have that. He has 351 career homers as a second baseman. That's the most ever at the position. 1,518 runs driven in, 800 RBI seasons. Those are both records for a second baseman. So you got to love what he was able to bring to the field. Famously got in a fight with Barry Bonds. There's some fun stuff if you want to check that out, interviews with him about it. And that's kind of how he was painted, like the hard-nosed second baseman. Wasn't going to take any crap, man. But you're right. All these guys deserve recognition. Andrew Jones was kind of like, he's like Ken Griffey Jr., essentially, to a lot of kids growing up that played the outfield. He's just cool. He was young. He was fantastic to watch play center field. And Carlos Beltran's a guy that could just do it all. The definition of a ball player, some massive postseasons. And there's just nothing like Cooperstown. The main point I wanted to drive home with all of this is if you got a chance to go, and you're around the New York area or like the Northeast area and you can make the drive this weekend, go. Or like in the future years, even if you aren't like familiar with the guys that are getting inducted, still go. It's such a beautiful spot up there in Cooperstown. That part of New York, I always tell people, like, I don't think people realize how beautiful upstate New York is. you just think about the city and maybe you think about like Long Island or something, but like go to upstate New York. It's this gorgeous countryside up there. I went when Maurer got inducted. I hope I get to go again at some point. Somebody, one of my friends, like, please play better. I don't know, like, invite me. So congratulations to all those guys. Tip of the cap at the end of the show.
Double tip of the cap. How you doing?
We start with a tip of the cap. We end with a tip of the cap. Then, dog, we both turn our hats backwards because it's the weekend, baby. Dog, you're the man. You filled in last 2 days. Thank you, everybody. Chris Rose will be back on Monday. Go Talons, go.
Teed up.
Beautiful baseball happening. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back Monday. So for Dalton Feely, Thirst Trap King, our guy, Dan Rourke, needs to do some more curls, I think. Maybe get out in the sun a little bit. It's fine. You have the third biggest biceps on this show. I am your host, Coach Trev. We'll see you on Monday for another edition of Baseball Today.